Does not have it.
Oh, Grandma, I have a follow-up question
Yeah,
on wrapping cold.
I think, okay.
This
So
look
can we
good.
get this out, anyone?
Okay, let's say like I make a sandwich. And I wanna like put it on the crock pot to heat up. Like the outside of the sandwich. I can't. It's cold. And. Could I wrap it into, does tinfoil add heat?
Okay, let's make sure we understand the question. The question is being asked now. Are you allowed to take a sandwich, wrap it up in tinfoil? Yeah,
Yeah,
and put it on top of a crock pot?
yeah.
Why are you wrapping it up?
I don't know.
To keep it warm.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so that then you can't.
Okay,
That's hatzmana, it's insulating. So when you insulate something and you put it on top of something that gives off heat, then that goes into the category of something that's moisef hevel.
oh, so then it is also.
Material that intensifies the heat, that you cannot do that even before Shabbos. Even before Shabbos, you can't do that. If it's
What's the
insulated.
thing before Shabbos?
Before Shabbos, what do you
Like,
mean?
what if it's like an hour before Shabbos?
Yeah,
That's like
on
before
Erev Shabbos, yeah, you cannot,
So
yeah.
like 2 hours before Shabbos?
Are we
The
gonna
whole, the entire day is called Erev Shabbos, you can't, yeah,
Oh my gosh,
okay,
that's so much.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Grandma.
Mhm.
Oh, another question, last night we were debating this, but I looked it up, and you can use, this is completely not related to Bishul. You can't use an egg thing, like an egg slicer on top.
Okay, so let's do it later, because I want to start the review. Okay, so we're up to here, question 4. Okay, so, question 4. You have it, question 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, can you still explain 3B though, with you in the,
Maybe,
yeah.
is it permitted to put? Oh, no.
Oh,
Okay,
so-
go to question 3. Is it
3B?
permitted? We'll start with 3A. 3A, is it permitted to put spices? Liquid, any type of liquid, instant coffee, sugar. In a klisheni, if it's yad nichris. Yad nichris means that it's so hot that you can burn yourself. It's not the regular heat. It's like really hot. People want to make a really hot coffee and want it really hot. You could really burn yourself. It's like really hot. The answer is no, you cannot. Got it?
Mhm.
Is it permitted to put salt and challah in a cliche if it's yad nichris?
No,
And we
still
said
enough liquid.
no, we said there are opinions say you could. But you shouldn't. Bottom line is you shouldn't, there's a lot of reasons not to. And we're leaning towards, no, don't do it. Is that clear? Yeah, we don't do that.
So no,
No, we don't. 4, is pouring from a clearation permitted on cold liquid? Sometimes you give you time to do it on your own, but I think it's just gonna be better just to do it together, because if
Yeah,
you
we
weren't
don't-
here when we did it, then it's just gonna be like.
Mhm.
So, is pouring from a clearation permitted on cold liquid? You understand clearation, the pot that you cook the water in, the urn, it's clearation. You gotta pour it onto cold liquid.
What is in the Rishon?
You need an urn,
Oh, okay,
clearation. When I say clearation, I mean
you mean the pot, okay.
hot soup, hot water, yeah. I gotta pour it onto cold liquid. What's the answer?
Yes.
You have a cup, cold
Okay,
liquid, I wanna pour it, take from the hot water. And have a little bit of milk inside it, a little cold liquid, and let the hot water pour right onto the cold liquid, is that allowed? Is that follow what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah, good,
I'm just waiting for the answer.
huh?
Said I'm just waiting for the answer.
The answer is what? Who wants to guess the answer?
Yes.
Say,
A clearation.
I'm gonna say
Clean
no.
Rishon has the
Oh,
ability to
no.
cook.
No
Distribution is the
cup.
hot water that you pour into something
Right,
to make
clean
it.
issue, yeah, we should get to terms.
Let's say you're trying to make coffee out of habits, right? So you first, you take from the urn, whatever
Yeah.
the.
That's, that, the
The
urn,
hot-
urn is a clear issue.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, but
Yeah.
you put a cup first and you don't put the stuff in it yet.
Correct.
Exactly, so then you pour another one and then from that existing, let's say a tea
Right.
bag or.
Right, but now I'm asking, could I let the hot water come straight in the clearation into liquid? And it says no.
Right, and that's why you can
Liquid.
shower, right?
Yeah.
No, you're right, I'm just,
No, we
understand.
can.
you're saying how it should be done.
Oh, you're asking if something.
I'm being more technical, we're going through all the
Say it again,
steps.
yeah, I'm hearing you
You're
though,
saying how,
I'm not-
you know how it's supposed to be done, which is correct.
but now I'm answering yours before that if there's something
Yeah.
that's wrong. There's
Right.
something that can't have, you're asking that, right? Something that's not doing it already, something's like a question, like if this happens. You're asking the question to everyone.
I'm asking now.
You can take hot water and put in the liquid.
Is that your company?
Yeah, I
Drinking
drink.
it? No, using it? No, I just had a cup. See, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. This is my cup, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say, what? No, it's a cup, imagine it's a cup, yeah, hot water. I'm asking, could you pour from the clear machine into the cup and there's a little bit of milk or cold water on the
Oh,
bottom?
no.
I'm asking if you're allowed to do it.
No.
And it says no.
Mhm.
You have to pour into a clear cup instead of something in it.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
right. You, what you're saying is correct, you're focusing about how it should be done. But I'm going to, now we're going to all the specific details.
Yeah.
What you can, even though it's not, maybe obvious, but we're going through all the steps. That
I
was-
don't know if I'm just asking.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. But now, 4B, you want that some? 4B, what if the liquid was previously cooked, now it's room temperature? So I'm not allowed to have hot water go straight into cold liquid. What if the cold liquid was already previously cooked and now it cooled off? Now it's room temperature, so it was already cooked. Am I allowed to have the hot water pour straight onto the cold liquid? It was already cooked before, but it's
Yeah.
cold, it became room temperature.
How was it cooked before? In what scenario?
It was-
Pot or
It was cooked and it became room temperature.
cooked from what?
I think, yeah.
Like,
I had a tea,
okay, So
so it was
before
hot
Shabbos?
tea. No, I took a tea on Shabbos.
Okay.
You know, I'm drinking my tea for over an hour. After an hour, the leftover tea in my cup is room temperature,
oh,
right? Now I
little
wanna
bit of
take
water.
my cup, there's still some tea left.
okay,
Now I wanna take my tea, put it under the hot water. And add more hot water straight onto the
Yeah, I understand.
leftover,
no,
right?
yeah.
So this water was already cooked.
Yeah.
The answer is no.
I
There's
know.
leftover, there's leftover.
Yeah, it was cooked already, but it's cold, it's room temperature.
And you're making hot again, you're putting,
You're
okay.
cooking it, so you're not allowed to do that. You can't do that. Answer is no. We'll just add something else. And what if someone did it? Are they allowed to drink it?
Yes.
You may be lenient. It's better not, but there are opinions that say you're allowed to do it actually.
Wait,
So therefore, a combination of factors, we didn't go into all the details. So if someone did do it, if someone did do it, we don't must tell them, oh, you can't drink it now.
It's
Is
already
that-
done. It's already done. Like you can say.
It's not just it's already done, because of all the different opinions that exists, there's room to be lenient.
Because other opinions say otherwise.
There are a lot of other opinions there are opinions that say it's okay,
It's not like flat out wrong, okay.
correct, right?
is one of the logic things like,
It is wrong, you're not allowed to do it,
I
but
understand, but
if
it's
you,
not-
but if you did it because of the opinions that exist that are lenient, because of the nature, not just because there is an opinion, sometimes there could be an opinion out there. So what? Because of the nature, because of the strength of the opinions that exist, we could be lenient and you will be able to drink it.
But-
Yeah,
is like one of the opinions, like because the water's already cooked, you can't cook again type thing, like that one?
yes, but there's also another opinion, there's an opinion that says, are you allowed to pour from hot into cold? One opinion says it's not called cooking. We never went into it, it's
Yeah,
very
Okay,
extensive and
You
detailed.
can,
okay.
Yeah, that fact itself The fact itself that because it was recooked, it was already cold and cooked, that itself is not enough. It would actually be prohibited. If someone recooks cold liquid, I'll never strict and says you cannot use that in Shabbos. But because it's poured from hot to cold, see everything, there's so many details in it, it's very specific in this specific case. You would be able to drink it. Yeah,
You can put hot to cold in Shabbos? Hot water to
there's
cold?
such an opinion that says you can pour hot to cold.
Oh, okay.
Because.
To make it so it's cold and then it's adding to the cold and making it hot.
Because I was thinking about
Add to your-
No, I
Okay.
think. I'm
Yeah,
not sure if you understand what- Yeah,
So she said if it's already cold, you can have hot water added to the cold, like cold with.
when you're cooking it. How you
You
allow.
said you said in some opinions they do.
Explain why. There is an opinion that says, Altamba says that you're allowed to pour from hot into cold. Hot into cold is not a problem. Says it's not called cooking. Cooking is only cold into hot. There's a whole explanation behind it. I don't want to go into it. There is such an opinion. We don't go by that because it's a machzor that says you shouldn't. So we don't pour hot into cold, but that opinion does exist. Therefore, if someone does it,
That's-
there is room
That's it.
for leniency to say, oh, you could drink it because. Patchilo, we are strict anyways, so I think it's better to be strict, but there is flexibility in it. Okay. I think it's a little more complex. 4C. Here.
Is there an exception to A and B?
Is there an exception to A and B? It will be allowed to pour from a clear rishon onto cold liquid. It's a tricky question. Huh?
I think I have one.
Yeah,
I might be wrong. That beforehand it's already cooked.
no,
Not
nothing to do with that. We're talking about A and B. A and B is also, A and B was already cooked. It's already cooked, and we're saying you're not supposed to pour hot into cold. There's a situation where I can pour hot into cold. Has to do with the amount,
method,
has to do with the amount of water.
right, be like little increments so that it's not gonna worry,
That's all it is.
no?
Has to be
Well-
amount.
The amount. If I have a full cup of cold water, and I'm just adding a drop of hot water into it. But it's too cold the water, so I'm pouring hot into cold, but how much hot am I pouring? Small, insignificant, small amount. It's not changing the temperature of the cold water to become hot, because I'm just adding a drop of hot water into cold water. Then that's permitted. Because I'm not cooking, I'm not changing the temperature of the cold water. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you had hot water and a cup here, you need such so much easier. Maybe we should go downstairs, maybe show you. We could do that. We could go downstairs a few minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, can we do that?
we could. Let's assume. Let's see. Again, see. Why did I see?
Is there a strictness, are people stricted for cold into cold?
Cold.
I don't know, basically, I've seen kiddish, like, somebody pour like the Rebbe's wine into their kiddish, and they would do it in small increments.
That's something else.
That's
Yeah.
washing the hands.
Well, that's discuss-
No, that's not.
I don't want to answering you, but it's a little off the topic.
Okay.
After class, ask me language.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep it.
No, I didn't know if it was
With
related,
Bishul.
that's why.
That's different. That's a whole different thing. They want to add. See, what if the liquid was previously cooked? Now it's still warm. You have leftover tea, the tea's still warm. Are you allowed to add hot water onto your tea? It's not hot anymore, it's still warm. Are you allowed to do that?
No, because you're recooking it,
But it's still warm.
but you're recooking it, you're making it to the outside.
It's already warm.
You have a good point. And there is such an opinion. So your thinking is good.
I'm saying
but-
changing the
Your
temperature.
thinking is good,
completely.
but the halach,
I'd say it's fine.
halach is you could. Al-Tarab says you could. Al-Tarab, there's two opinions. Al-Tarab goes like in between and sort of compromises. Not that the point is to compromise, but it factually, that's what it is. It's like a compromise.
So yes, there is in some cases.
So
Other
tea is
opinions.
yes. that you could pour from the Kli Rishon if it's still warm.
Okay.
Okay, let's do one more, let's do 5, and then if you want, we can go downstairs for a few minutes, I think make it be so much easier. 5, is pouring from a Kli, 5, is pouring from a Kli Sheni Yatzles permitted on cold liquid? Oh, Kli Sheni Yatzles on cold liquid, answer is yes. Pouring from a Kli Sheni Yatzles, B is also yes, because of a Kli Sheni on liquid, that is yes, even though it's hard to understand. But
5A and 1.
5 A and B is both yes. Now, it might be difficult to understand if you have, if it sits for you well, fine. If you don't understand, I can explain you so you'll be able to grasp it better. But the bottom line is, it's yes, yes. You want to go down for 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's
We'll
good.
do it.
Yes.
They'll try to.
Other people, other those not
No.
using the place?
No.
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 This is usually so fun.
Field trip.
Is anyone on here? Or maybe
Can
for.
you use it, people, is it,
For
can you
the
find
I
it
did
very hot?
all hot.
Yeah, it's
But
hard
it's not
to
like a-
tell you.
Yeah.
Wait, can you show again? I was getting the Zoom.
Yeah, you need,
I'm taking
you
pictures.
need a little bit of hot water here.
This is the urn basically, and this is clear shown.
Right, it's
Exactly.
right, typically. And
Well,
now,
this is cliche.
No, this is clear shown.
This isn't the
No.
urn the Kli Rishon?
we have something,
Pouring this. Can I get a
It's
pen?
clear
Can
shown.
you get a pen? You can write 1, 2, 3.
what's that, you
Clear shown, cliche. You can act it out.
You could, well, this is obviously cliche. This is obviously cliche, it might be klishlishi maybe, but it's a strong out klirishin. So this is cliche. So we have like this, okay, we'll see if it's necessary. Yeah, like this is cold water, this is cliche. So this is gonna be leftover tea. And leftover tea, that
Tea
is, you wanna put a tea bag in it, just to make it, anyways can't see through it.
I'll have it.
No, no, we don't need it. We have a pen? A
Yeah.
pen? A pen. Okay, so this we write like this. This is leftover.
And it's room temperature.
Yeah, so we right
And
here.
add some cold water to it to make it room temperature.
This is, let's say room temperature, okay?
Okay.
Room temperature, right? This is leftover, have leftover tea, that's room temperature. Okay, now I have here left, I'm gonna have, you wanna put some more hot water in? Okay, so here, this is a cup of leftover tea that's still warm. Writing over here, warm. Okay, so you can see it says warm over here. It's warm. Over here it says, you able to see here, room temperature, leftover tea. There's a little bit left, just a little bit, a drop left, and it's room temperature. And this is a little bit leftover tea, but this is warm. Then we have like this. Oh, have a cup. I need a cup. Oh, perfect. This is going to be. Oh, perfect. This I need to get some more. What? This a cup. Okay. It's a cup of cold water. Okay?
Room temperature and.
Room
there's
temperature,
warm.
room
Yeah,
temperature warm. Okay, let's
When
go.
you say warm, you're meaning like
Warm-
Yad
no,
like
warm,
below Yad
warm means that what people call warm.
Okay, fine.
Whatever you would call warm, like it's not room temperature, has a certain warmth. Like you drinking a coffee, after a while it's not hot, but it's still warm. You're still enjoying it. And then after if you wait too long, it becomes, you call it cold.
It cooled down from.
It cooled down. Now it's not necessarily cold, but it's room temperature. And room temperature is still cold to you because it's a coffee. You want it to be warm. Okay, so we'll go in order now. So now we have like this. We're doing 4 and 5. I want to pour from a clean Rishon, have cold liquid. Yeah, I want to pour. The water is too cold to me. I want to go like this. And pour on it water. I can pour
So
a lot
that's
of hot water.
4A. No, you're
Okay,
not
four-
allowed to.
I'm not allowed. So 4A is you're not allowed to.
Unless it's a certain amount, that's cold water, you can't do that.
I want to pour hot water from.
Well, how much, like a lot, like
Very good. Exactly. So I'm discussing you putting a
only a little
lot.
bit.
If you're putting a lot of water, then you
Okay.
cannot. If I'm putting a drop, then I could.
You said it.
Okay, got
Right,
it.
so that was one of the exceptions in C, because I'm putting just a drop of hot water. What's gonna happen? This is gonna come Yahtzee like this?
No.
No, so that's allowed, exactly. So that's actually when we have when we talk about C, 4C is an exception, that's one of the exceptions. Then we have B. What if the liquid was previous cooked, now it's room temperature? So it's the same thing, it's the same idea, whatever. This water was cooked already, now it's room temperature. I want to pour hot water onto it, a lot of hot water, it's still not allowed. Because I'm going to be re-cooking this water.
You
It-
only can take from Rishon, the
Hmm.
hot water. I'm saying, when you first say, okay, I wake up, you wanna go to show whatever, so
Yeah.
this is the urn.
Yeah.
You say, okay, I wanna come, take a empty cup, put it over, that's Rishon, so the hot water, if you wanna make coffee, and then you have this, right?
This becomes
And let's
shake.
say
What do you mean this?
This is the
becomes-
cliche.
You're already talking about how to make the coffee.
No, because is that a part of it?
Okay, so,
It's a part of it, you're saying what not to do, right?
right, but you're talking about how to do it.
No, how would they know what's a flavored Rishon from the
This
urn?
is a cliche.
Yes, so,
Whenever if I come in like this is already cliche.
yes, to give an example, because anyways, you're pouring a cup into hot water, like you're saying soup.
Right,
Like I'm saying coffee is a good explanation
okay,
for that, I guess, I don't know. This is, I don't know if anyone understands, but that is, because people can think it's soup, people can think it's this, so that's why I want like one thing, it's coffee.
right, so you're making coffee over here, right?
Exactly, yeah. There's difference, I thought it would be noodle soup, because the way you're talking about it was like different waters, different soups, different.
You're thinking in practical applications of soup and coffee. I'm not just
So you're
discussing.
just the in general.
I'm just discussing the technical thing of water here. We could apply, if you want, afterwards we'll
water.
apply it to coffee, but first I want to go through
Let's
everything.
finish,
Okay,
let's
so
finish the.
What are you up to?
We're going through all the questions over there. You're already discussing practically, we could talk about it afterwards, right? So now, what's the question? Okay, so we ready the A, B, C? Now, what if the previous here, we wrote over here warm, right? So we have over here, okay. You have a little bit of room temperature water. Okay, so you already discussed it. You have a little bit, has to be there's a drop of room temperature water. I want to pour a lot of hot water on it. I'm going to be recooking it. I cannot because I'm putting a lot. Putting a lot of hot water into it. I'm recooking it. If I'm just going to put a drop, much less than in here, then it won't be a problem because it's not going to change the temperature. Get it?
Yeah.
Now,
Which one was that?
this is room temperature.
4C?
This is room temperature
Is it
4B.
still- Oh,
It's still it's room temperature. It's just a little bit left. I want to add more hot water into it. So if I'm putting a significant amount, it's going to change the temperature. I cannot. If I'm putting a drop, it's not going to change the temperature. Then there's no problem. So the same thing with this. This is a good example. I have a cup of cold water. It's too cold for me. I actually don't like cold water.
Can I?
Yeah. So now, 1 second. So now I want to I want to put hot water. I'm pouring from a clean Rishon onto cold water. If you ask anyone, can I pour from a clean Rishon onto cold water? You're saying, no, you can't. But I have a full cup of water. I'm just adding hot water. It's going to change the temperature. Yes, it won't be so cold, but it's not going to become yatsi like this because I'm just putting a drop of hot water. There's no problem. Yeah, who want to add something?
So basically the overall rule, if you have to summarize it, is you can't recook water that has cooled down, but you can add a drop that won't change the temperature.
Right,
I have another question.
correct.
So we're not allowed to put hot coffee into a cold milk.
Okay, so should we discuss the practical things over here about?
Because I thought before that we need to cook to do a coffee in like a changed way. So we need to put coffee in the milk, not in milk in coffee. And now
Correct.
I
Correct.
confused.
So generally, the general rule is now, if you look now, let's do 5 and this will explain it. With
Uh-huh.
5, we're talking about could you pour from a klisheni onto cold liquid? Could you pour from a klisheni yad nichvis? You have 2 temperatures, hot and very hot. Could you pour from hot onto cold? Could you pour from a klisheni? Okay, let's say this is klisheni. This is klisheni. Now this klisheni is extremely hot. Let's say it's very, very hot. Now nichvis, you could burn yourself. Could I pour from here onto cold water?
Yeah, because it's cliche.
The answer is yes, you could. Pouring from a klisheni, there's no problem. So from a klisheni, doing a demonstration on Bishul. Pouring from a klisheni, that the rule is, as long as I could explain it, but that's the bottom. The bottom line is you can pour from hot onto cold, and I think that's what you're mentioning. You're always better. Hot into cold is always better than cold into hot. And I'll give you the reason so you remember to understand it and remember it. So that's a general rule. Hot into cold, you're always safer than cold into hot. And if it's from a klisheni, then it's 100% okay. So from a klisheni, hot pouring into cold is 100% fine. Now, what's the logic behind it? Why hot into cold is better? This is very hot. This is cold. To pour cold hot, no way. How come? There's a rule called tator gover, which means the bottom overpowers. When it comes to arm wrestling, whoever's on top is the winner. I never watch these things, Baruch Hashem. But when wrestling, I understand the one who's on top is the winner. Okay? When people are wrestling, yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
fighting each other. Whoever's on top is the one who he's the winner. When it comes to heat, it's different because heat rises. So therefore, when you're pouring cold into hot, the rule is the hot will cook the cold. But when you're pouring hot into cold, then we say the hot does not cook the cold. And therefore, there's a whole, that's why I mentioned earlier, there are opinions that say you can even pour from a kli rishon onto cold water. There is such an opinion, but it's not halacha. We don't pour a kli rishon into cold. But there is that concept that cold, that the hot that's on the bottom overpowers the cold, and therefore to pour cold into hot, it's out of the question because the heat is going to be cooking the cold liquid. When you're pouring hot into cold, then we say officially what's happening is the hot is not cooking the cold is cooling off the hot. And therefore, we have, when it comes to kli rishon, there is that opinion that says, the Alter Rebbe brings, you're actually allowed to pour from hot into cold, but we don't do it that way. There's other opinions saying, no, you shouldn't do it. But to pour from a kli sheni, which is already a step removed, which we discussed, that kli sheni officially doesn't have the ability to cook, so even though we're strict, we went into a lot of details, but being officially kli sheni does not have the ability to cook. And now you're pouring from hot into cold. And we said before that it's the bottom that overpowers. So it's the hot coming to the cold. So now we're saying the hot is not cooking the cold is cooling off the hot. That's how it works. So that's why hot into cold is always better than cold to hot. So I think that's what you mentioned about the coffee. In coffee, you want to pour the coffee after you make the coffee, pour the coffee into the milk, not the milk into the coffee. Now we can discuss a little more about the coffee because really, if you're able to make coffee, if you're able to put coffee into the kli sheni, you can already pour it in milk also. We discussed in previous classes that in a kli sheni, you're allowed to put all liquids. So if the kli sheni is not burning hot, you can really put milk anyways. So really we're discussing if, huh?
Can you use the milk in the fridge? It doesn't matter.
There's milk, right? So I'm saying practically,
Oh, so it's.
right, so logically, what, according to most opinions, once it's a kli shlishi, you're good.
With everything.
Right, I mentioned it.
With tea. Happened this is the last shot, I had
Yeah.
tea, that was
Right.
from Kislev, and the child wanted me to cool it down for them. So I was like, oh, am I allowed to do this? But I was like, oh, it's Kislev. So I poured a little bit of cool.
Tea is a different category. Tea, there are those that are strict and say not to make tea on Shabbos at all, because tea is very delicate. There are such opinions, so some people are strict and they will not make tea on Shabbos, even if it's shlishi. Now, but with coffee,
Delicate in what way?
that it cooks very fast, it cooks quickly.
Like, what if the tea bag is already out?
Things that cook quickly, you can't even put in a kli shlishi, and eggs is one of them, and some say tea is also. Okay, so tea is in a different category. Now, practically, after this whole discussion, in terms of coffee, if you go by the opinion that says a kli shlishi is 100% okay, so it's a problem. You take hot water from here, and then you pour it into here. It's a kli shlishi, and then you can do whatever you want. Now, there are opinions that are strict. According to my father, he holds that a kli shlishi, if it's extremely hot, it's like burning hot. He says even a kli shlishi, you shouldn't make coffee. Should be strict. So then, what the way to do it is, you take the burning hot water and you pour it into the milk. Yeah, pour it into the milk. And now it's not so hot anymore. And now you can add the coffee. Now you can put the coffee inside. But I know in the previous classes when I said this, when I gave this idea, they said the coffee doesn't come out good when you do it this way. Like you pour the hot water into the milk and then you put the coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know about this. But I was told that it doesn't work.
To what? Put the milk
That if you put the hot into the milk and then you
And
add the
then-
coffee, we're saying you can pour hot into cold. So if it's too hot, let's say you don't want to put it and you're strict, you're not going to put coffee because it's burning hot. So we're saying you could pour the hot water into the milk. Now it's not so hot. Now it's not burning hot. Now you can add coffee, but then the coffee doesn't come out so good. Practically, it
Got
doesn't
it.
come out so
Got
good.
it.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert.
Any other
Oh, I have
questions
my
you had? The
question.
questions you want to
It
ask?
does
This?
turn out okay, because it doesn't have to be so hot in the morning.
The coffee does come out good.
I mean, if you're doing, it's warm.
No,
Same
I
thing,
was
it's the
told that the
opposite.
coffee, not because of the
Oh, it
heat,
is
that the
dissolving?
coffee, that the quality of the coffee, when you pour the hot water into milk and then you put a teaspoon
yeah,
of
okay.
coffee, it's not the same like you put
Yeah,
it into
of
hot
course.
water. So,
Depends if it's a really good coffee, it's strong.
right. Okay, I mean, if there's any other questions, ask me because.
Yeah, okay, I have
Is it-
two. That aren't related to Bishul. The red wine.
Yeah, but are we do that? Are we done with Bishul? Questions of Bishul?
I like
What?
this.
Can we
I
go-
like this.
Can we go through the review? Can we still go through the review questions?
We don't have that much time.
Another class? Yeah.
It's already 10 o'clock.
They still have,
On Friday, can we still?
We
go
can
through
do a
the-
little
Can
more.
we just like say yes, no, yes, no, yes? Like, can we still do it on Friday?
Yeah, for sure.
We should do this. Has like a bunch.
Yeah.
No, I know.
What time? Do we still have time? What time is it?
No, it's 10:02.
10:02. Okay,
We have to knocking on the door, you know.
all right. So you had a question about the apple wine with adding a little bit?
That one.
Oh.